And if you can get that story attached to it, and not only that, but get people interested in your story, which is why I tell everybody, this is actually the real tip here, learn story theory. The most important class that I took in my film school was not film production, it wasn't screenwriting, it was story theory. Learning how stories work and why we tell stories and why stories are so powerful. Once you figure that out, it's game over.
Nique The N Voice checking in live and direct. You are tuned into SongLab Live. Today we have an amazing guest. He goes by the name Jaron. I don't know what other names he goes by, but I'm hoping that we'll learn within this segment. Please let the people know who you are and what you do. So,
Jaron Ikner, multimedia extraordinaire, storyteller. I've been doing this for about 20 years now in the Arizona hip hop scene throughout Tucson, Flagstaff, and Phoenix, and kind of well known. Do a lot of stuff out here, so yeah, I do a lot of things. So
definitely well known. Do we have time to go through just a quick cliff notes of what people might know you for or from?
Sure, yeah. I think what I'm most known for recently would be my studio, Star Camp Creative Labs, which we don't have anymore. We actually closed it, but we'll get to that story later. But historically, I actually was raised in Tucson, Arizona. I had a monthly called Chronicles, which is a hip hop night.
Oh.
And we did that for about 10 years. During that time, we brought out basically everybody across the United States, New York, LA, everybody, underground hip hop acts from around the country. Throughout that time, we also did a lot of acts from Phoenix, Flagstaff, and I really established myself as a hip hop dude. There was a website called Arizona Beats for the old heads out there that was actually a hip hop forum where a lot of people went on there and did like a lot of networking and communicating. That's where I kind of cut my teeth a lot and met like a lot of people that I know now. I moved up here about 13 years ago to raise my son, but at that point in time, I actually got a job at Phoenix New Times as a freelance writer.
Okay.
So during that time, I was doing interviews with people, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Little Dicky, people like that. But then also did interviews with did exposés on artists like Vita Ruler, Willie North Pole, Rocky Tirade, artists like that, and really shine light on the hip hop scene.
Yes.
So I got a lot of notoriety for that. And I also did the Power List. So the Power List was like every year I would rank the top 20 most powerful acts in Arizona hip hop. Respect the Underground, Iron Daniels, people like that.
Big shout out to Iron Daniels.
He's the GOAT. But
The GOAT.
I did that for 3 years, and that got me a lot of attention, obviously, because the list was put on the Phoenix New Times, and this is a big publication.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did that. But also, I'm also a musician, so I used to go by Black One. That was my original rap name.
Okay.
Did that for
4G Triple OG?
yeah.
We gonna get a little some.
I did that for I changed my name in 2019.
Okay.
Going by my real name, Jaron Ikner now. I still do music. I'm actually finishing up my next album right now.
Okay.
I put out an album last year called UMBRAS, which is actually my most successful project. So still out here grinding. I also put out a movie called The Bond. That was 3 years ago, a feature film. I've worked with dozens of artists, just about every hip hop artist in Arizona that matters. There's a few that matter that I haven't worked with.
Okay, we'll get to that list.
But there's just about anybody who sees this and sees my face, they're gonna recognize me for what I do in Arizona hip hop and my storytelling.
So what you're telling me is this is the episode that goes viral.
Maybe.
We were talking pre-shoot, but it's not going to go viral for that. Okay, let's jump into the expose. Like, put on your expose pants.
Sure.
What's going on with the AZ hip hop scene right now?
Ooh, that's a sharp question.
Get up in there.
Honestly, I believe that Arizona hip hop's in a very good place right now.
Okay.
When I first started, especially in Tucson, Arizona, there was very little. And that's actually kind of why I have my quote unquote legend status, is because I really helped build the Tucson hip hop scene. And you can ask anybody down there, they will vouch for that I am a very critical cornerstone in building out the Tucson hip hop scene for how it's known right now.
Go ahead.
And that spread to Phoenix. When I moved to Phoenix, I really wanted to make that same impact. So I did like a lot of shows up here, et cetera, so forth. And I really got to get to know the scene very well. And honestly, like where we're at right now is a good place. I would say that was not the case maybe 15 years ago. A lot of infighting, which still exists. And there's still like a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people who want to talk rap and do what they do. But I think there's a lot of strong units right now. AZ Way Too Active is a big one. What you guys are doing right now is huge. We brought up Iron Daniels. He's a massive force out here. There's all these entities that are really making a big impact. Respect the Underground's another massive unit that's doing a lot of things. And what I've come to learn is that how to separate my personal issues with the art and the talent and the efforts, which is hard to do.
You gonna bother a few people now.
I mean, if people watching this already, I already know when they see my face, they're already like, it's going to be an interesting interview. 'Cause one thing I forgot to mention is that a project that I put out was Arizona Kanye. I call myself Arizona Kanye.
What?
Now, the reason why I call this is not for the reason that you think. I actually put out, first of all, we all know where Kanye's at right now. And I'm going to go ahead and say off rip that I do not support anything that he's doing right now. But there was a point in time where I was like a student of Kanye West, worshiped this man, did everything that he did. And I just loved this man to a certain point. But he was pissing a lot of people off. And 2018, I'm sorry. I had my own record label, still do Star Trek Multimedia. I had several artists, and at the same time, Kanye was doing his run with the EPs, Tiana Taylor, all the different EPs that he put out. And I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing with my team. So we had Lizzie Page, Cousin It, a couple other people that we put out on this run, dropping EPs every week. I was next. I was like, well, what am I gonna put out? What am I gonna do? Kanye was supposed to put out Yandi. So Yandi is like this storied album that he's supposed to put out. You can find it on the internet. It's an amazing album, but then he canceled it. So I was like, well, I'm Arizona Kanye. I'm the Arizona version of Kanye West. And the people need me. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
People need
And I put out Arizona Kanye. And it was kind of like a slight, because like all the track names are basically named after albums that he didn't put out. So Help Me God, Luv Everyone, all these different TurboGrafx 16. I had Virtual Boy instead of TurboGrafx 16, but every song was named after albums that he didn't put out.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a slight. But part of my marketing was for that album was that I'm not sure if you saw the meme where it was like soulful Kanye and trap Kanye and like all the different versions of Kanye, like Travis Scott and Donald Glover. So I took that meme and I replaced one of them and put Arizona Kanye, be in the corner standing there. And I put it on Reddit in the Kanye forum. And sure enough, it went viral. Like people are like, who is this motherfucker in the corner? Like I know everybody else, but who is this guy in the corner? And sure enough, like the Reddit detectives came out and like, oh, this is Jaron Ikner, aka Black One. He played it. They hit me with the full expose of everything that I did, and like everybody started. It got like thousands and thousands of views, and so I kind of leaned into it. And so there's 5 Arizona Kanyes that I put out. I stopped doing it once he started going off the rocker, because I didn't want to associate myself with him on that level. But that's actually one of my biggest claims to fame is the Arizona Kanye series and like the response that I got from that.
So we got Arizona Kanye. We have Chronicles. Take me on, let's jump in the DeLorean, hop in the DeLorean. Take me on a little trip through the Chronicles. And when is it coming back?
That's actually a good question, because I actually had this discussion with somebody not too long ago about this. So I did try to bring Chronicles to Phoenix. We actually switched it and turned it into Starstruck Presents. So Starstruck's my record label.
Right.
And I did that for a while, but it's exhausting doing shows.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I was doing events that brought value and worth to the community, which is why Star Camp was so important and for what it did, because it was really just about getting people together and having a good time. It wasn't about the politics or like the bar tabs or like the writers. It's just like, yo, let's come here and just have a good time. And that's what people kind of caught on to. That's kind of what I'm known for, is if I'm doing a show, it's going to be good. It's going to have a good lineup. It's going to have a good sound. It's going to have everything good that you know to love about shows. That's like what I'm known for. So with Chronicles, I was cutting my teeth. I was young. But I made a lot of friends through that. And just like the network that I made and the community that I made just made me want to kind of get back to that. But it really comes down to finding the right spot.
Okay.
And
so
building
the
it.
venue.
Yeah. I mean, because when I was doing Star Camp, I had Campfire series, which was basically like the spiritual successor of Chronicles.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have Star Camp anymore. And I thought about doing more shows. It's something I kind of wrestle with. But Star Camp took a lot out of me. And that's something like just to be able to run an entire venue. I'm sure you guys kind of know, just running a studio, like what that takes and the effort that it takes and like the amount of energy you put into it. And for me, I'm kind of an introvert. I call myself an omnivert.
Okay.
So like I would rather be to myself, but I can pop out and show if I need to. But it's about really just doing something that's worth my time. That's what it comes down to. I'm about to be 41 here next week.
Ooh, happy
Thank you. So
birthday.
thank you. And so my time is extremely valuable. Like every minute is money to me, or love or energy. So if I'm going to be spending my time like having good conversations or working on like a video game that I'm creating right now or my next album or even whatever I'm doing, like it needs to be done with like the fullest intention and the purest heart. Exactly. Where younger me was like, I just want more. I want to do it all, do it all. But then the quality went down and like a lot of shady stuff happens and people start taking advantage of the fact that you are out here doing all this stuff. And so, you kind of get beat up a little bit and I'm kind of like back in my shell right now, trying to like kind of inch out there a little bit to kind of see what's kind of popping. I'm seeing that the scene's very beautiful right now. I'm seeing all this great stuff happening, and I'm like, yeah, I'll probably be back. I'm finishing up this album right now, and yeah, I'm gonna go crazy here pretty soon. So
We all are going crazy. You are officially part of the Hype Network. Welcome. The network is going crazy. Like, you talk to me, like spill the tea. You glossed over a couple things. A video game.
yeah, I have a lot going on actually. So which is always the
You
case.
wouldn't be a mogul if you didn't. You would not
Well,
be sitting here if you didn't.
so I call myself a multimedia artist, right? And the reason why I call myself that is for the business and for the resume. But honestly, what that is, it's a fancy version of being a storyteller.
Yeah.
I love telling stories. Ever since I was a kid, I would write stories and put my friends in them. Video, like me and my father, before he passed away, like we always had the camera and we would make little skits and things like that. So stories have always been ingrained in me. And I learned the power of stories when I went to film school, Scottsdale Community College. I graduated from the film school there and I was taught like how valuable and how important stories are. And I'm like, man, stories are everything. Like everything is built around the story. And so for me, it's about finding the best way to tell a story, whether it's through a video camera or a pen or whatever. That's what makes me a multimedia artist. So with the video game, I'm trying to tell I have actually several kind of projects going on in that realm of like coding and video games and stuff like that, like apps and stuff. But the video game is like basically another extension of telling stories
Okay.
and being able to do it in a way that like is new to me and fresh, which keeps my brain moving so I don't get bored on stuff. But then also like, doing something that's cool that other people aren't doing, which is something I always try to be. Like I always try to be ahead of the curve instead of on it, which can be problematic sometimes because if you're ahead of the curve, you tend to like not get the attention that you need. And then when people catch up, you're like already like
You're onto something new.
exactly, you get bored easily. And so with the video game, it's like kind of like it's a passion project because I've always wanted to make it. And with AI and coding and doing all the vibe coding, when I've been able to figure out how to make a video game, I've made several at this point,
Wow.
but they're not ready to be released. It's basically kind of reiterating them over and over again, getting better and better at it to where it's like, okay, this is ready to be released to the public. So you probably won't see anything about that for like another year or so before I start talking about it publicly,
Okay.
but it's in the works,
Well,
definitely.
you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, definitely. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff here first. You keep asking the right questions. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff here first. I haven't done an interview in a while.
That I do have.
Okay.
I want to lift the veil a little bit about being a public figure, being out in the open, having your hands in a bunch of different pots, and people thinking that they can get over on you. Talk to me about it. Yeah, we're gonna take a deep breath together, y'all, because I told you this is about to go viral right here.
So I've been taken advantage of a lot by a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. But what I come to realize when it comes to life is that for me, life is about the pursuit of being content. And I think the misunderstanding is the pursuit of happiness, which is impossible. You can't always be happy, but it's about being content and realizing that whatever world I decide to create is the world that I'm content with. And so a lot of that has to do with the fact that, or one of the keys to that is setting long-term goals. Like I have big dreams, big long-term goals that have 20 years, 30 years out that I still want to reach. And no matter what happens to me, whether someone takes advantage of me or someone owes me money or someone does something shady and my life collapses for whatever reason, which has happened multiple times throughout my life, I still have like what I'm fighting for.
I laugh when I'm nervous, just so you, because I'm relating with you right
Yeah. One of my favorite lines is actually from Queen of the Stone Age, from the song Let It Flow. And the line goes, I want something good to die for is to make it beautiful to live.
Mm.
And that line like has basically defined my life to the fullest, where it's like, I just fight for the sole purpose of finding that beauty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Finding that energy and being able to cultivate that and share it with my friends and family and put it into these stories that I share with the world. And whoever listens to those stories and gravitates towards them, they're meant to be for you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's kind of like what it all is about for me. Everything else is like extra. Like having Star Camp, that's extra. You know what I'm saying? Having amazing network of friends and people, that's extra. But for me, it's like being able to convey my story in the rawest, realest form that lets me like be me and be content.
How could you do that in a perfect world? Because here at the Hype Network, we like to speak in affirmations. So speak something into existence. What does that look like? What does that clear medium look like for you?
I think I would sum it down to the world to one word, which would be fluidity. Being able to flow with whoever wants to flow with me. Because I think a lot of it too, and some people might see this and take this the wrong way because of they know me and they work with me. But oftentimes I work with people and I see I judge them based on the potential that they have, not where they are in life.
We're the same person.
And that's a very dangerous thing to do because what ends up happening is that when you're basing people off like that vision of what you would want them to be, like, oh, I see you being this big star, I see you being this and that, you try to push them towards that.
Right.
And that causes a lot of friction. It can cause a lot of resentment. It can cause a lot of issues that will damage the relationship in the long run. And this has happened to me multiple times over and over and over again. Now, if people are watching this right now, probably like, you're talking about me. I probably am. And I do apologize for that.
Put a peace sign in the comments if you think that he's talking.
Don't do that.
Fish. Fine, it's all good. Here we are all about transparency. The only way that we can elevate is to truly learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And I've always thought that with potential, it's basically like if I were in your situation. So
Yeah.
in saying the same thing, but from me, we have a specific vision because of what's in us, our purpose. So we see somebody in a position and we're like, if that were me, this is what I would do. That's the potential. Not everybody understands that vision because they don't have
Right.
that
That
vision.
vision. And that's a tough one because I want to see everybody win. I want to be able to like support everybody who supports me and beyond that. Another thing I forgot to mention is that I actually used to run a nonprofit for a couple years inside Star Camp. So it was called Soul Revival Inc. And I was the director of that. We had a food pantry that we worked with St. Mary's. So every week I would go fill up my little Chevy Sonic with as much food as possible. And then we pass it out to the homeless. And do it during that time, I was asking for help. I was like, hey, I need help. I need help. I need help. I think like two people pulled up. And it hurts because it's like, it made me realize like how people kind of move a little bit
Yeah.
in the sense that it's like, well, do you really care about the community or are you just posting on the gram for it?
Right.
Is it for the clout or whatever? Because
Right.
when I talked about it, I kind of felt dirty, like even being like, hey, I need help or like, hey, I got this food pantry because it felt like I was trying to like promote something that like didn't necessarily need to be promoted in the way that I usually promote stuff.
Right.
Which I think was the disconnect because people know me as the guy who does the rollouts, the guy who's good at marketing, the guy who's all up in your face on Facebook or doing all this crap. And so when I started talking about the nonprofit, I'm like, no, I actually need help. And people didn't pull up. It's like, well, damn, like, am I just like a commodity to you guys, basically?
Right. Like you're only here when I'm throwing a party.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I have something to
Um,
give.
and that's kind of like,
Extra take, I guess.
that's kind of like with Star Camp, like kind of like part of the reason why I stopped doing. There's other reasons involved too, but like that was one of the main reasons where like I felt that I was being taken advantage of. And like I probably could have toughed it out, you know what I'm saying? But like for me, knowing what I've done over the last 20 years for this scene and this community, it's like I told myself when I closed Star Camp that like I'm gonna start being selfish. I'm gonna work on this video game that was in the back of my mind for the last 10 years. I'm gonna work on these extra films. I'm working on my second film right now, which has been in the back burner for the last 2 years because I've been running Star Camp. It's hard to do all this at the same time.
Right.
So I'm gonna finish this film. I'm gonna finish this album that I've been sitting on and like really like talk about where I'm at in my life instead of just trying to do like what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
That this album's gonna like really kind of express where I've been going through the last couple of years, which is a lot. And it's what I need. Going back to like that solace and going back to like why I do the music and why I do art. It's for being able to get that contentment and feel like I'm doing something that like means something for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of everybody.
Everybody is icing on the cake. And if you're helping everybody else to make their dreams come true, you don't have anything left in the tank for your own.
Yeah. I mean, that last part when you said dreams come true, I think is part of the pain, I guess, in the sense that it's like I try to take people as far as I can.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people came to me thinking that I can make them the next whoever, I can make them famous, I could do this and that because of what they see me do with myself. Like with the Arizona Kanye series or even with the Phoenix New Times or even with Chronicles where I'm able to just boost my signal to anybody that was willing to hear it. Now, a lot of people, I get a lot of backlash when I do that, but I'm very good at getting my name out there. I'm sitting here right now because you guys know about my you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so people see that and they want the same thing. They want to be able to be like, make me famous or get me on, and I can make you one of the hottest people in Arizona.
How
I
much do you charge for that?
I'm I mean, if I'm being real about it, I've never made any money off any artist that I ever promoted. I remember one time, Lizzie Page, bless her heart, amazing woman, she came home or she came to my studio, which was my apartment, and she handed me $100, and she's like, "This is for you because you've been working so hard." And that, like, melted my heart because she understood, and, like, with Lizzie, it was interesting because, first of all, she's a white woman stripper trying to figure it out in the rap world. So it was really complicated to market her, and I think she realized that too, and she was like, "Do I really wanna do this? Climbing this massive hill?" You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
That's up to you, and, like, it worked out how it worked out, and she did what she did, but, I've never really made any money off anybody. I never really I have charged for my services, but
Mhm.
that's just, like, cost of production to build the website or to do the photo shoot, to pay for the gas or whatever. I've never charged anybody more than what I feel like I need. 'Cause I've never really been driven by money, which, pisses a lot of people off.
No,
Um
it's a great mindset to have, honestly, when you live in a space of abundance and you know that everything that you need will be provided. So
Yes,
you're
absolutely.
focused on the craft.
Well, no, you absolutely nailed it because I'm so blessed. Like, I'm so like, I have a beautiful wife,
Say it again for
my
people in the
son,
back.
I have a great dog, I got pool, I have an amazing group of, like, lifelong friends. I've put out a bunch of music and done amazing things and, like, played shows and gone on tour. I'm so blessed, but sometimes I forget that.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget that because of, like, how frequencies work in this world and all these distractions, but, like, that's kinda how I've been operating lately is just reminding myself that I'm so blessed right now. Like, I'm living such an incredible life that I would probably do it all again exactly the same way, even though there were some hurdles and some things that were kinda messed up. So, I'm still blessed, and it's so amazing to experience that and be able to just experience life for what it has to offer. And reminding myself that on the daily has been, like, been able to just keep me doing all kinds of amazing shit. Because I want more of that. I want more blessings, but I also know it kinda humbles you a little bit because you do go on the street and you see homeless people, or you do hear about so and so taking their own lives, or you do hear about whatever, and it's just like, damn, like, um, I'm just so blessed. This is the best way to just sum it up.
That's actually a perfect segue because it is May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. Talk to me a little bit about, as a creative, how do you keep yourself grounded?
Very good topic because my father, he actually committed suicide when I was 8 years old.
So
He was in the military. I don't know the actual story or like the whys to what he did that or why he did that, but that started my whole origin story in terms of how I became an artist because the early songs that I made as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old were like songs expressing my pain about the loss of my father and like being able to put my pain into my music, into my art was solace for me. It literally saved my life. And that's the reason why I make music to this day. So why I always made music. No matter what I do, whether it's movies, TV, film, whatever, photo shoots, the music's always the platform, like the bottom layer,
yeah,
because that's like where I can really just express myself in ways that are only unique to me that no one else can do.
right.
And so with mental health, like that's always been the angle in my songs and my music is like kind of fighting for uh that sense of solace and that sense of like that why. Cause I think that's part of it too when it comes to like at least topics of like depression and anxiety, it's the why.
Yeah.
What like the reason why these things are happening is but especially my favorite quote when it comes to that is like, depression is living in the past, anxiety is living in the future,
Yeah.
and being content is living in the now. And I talked about earlier, being contentment is like enjoying the present, counting your blessings, understanding how beautiful life is, understanding that we literally just live by the moment.
Yeah.
And whatever happened in the past is the past, and whatever is the future is the future. You can't dictate the future. You can't control it. You can kind of maybe nudge it in certain directions, but you can die tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is just appreciate life for what you have in that moment. And my life is awesome. So
I love it.
yeah,
Two things. Before I asked about mental health, in my mind, something was telling me to ask you about your father. So I just want to acknowledge that space and thank you for creating that space and
Mhm.
sharing that with us because I think that there's such a big stigma that surrounds mental health,
Absolutely.
expressing, being transparent, being vulnerable, but people don't understand how healing it is. And I'm actually getting a little emotional, so I'm going to try my best.
You're good.
I'm gonna come back to that. But before that, I would love and really encourage you to change the word content for gratitude.
Interesting.
Pursuit for gratitude, like, or for being grateful. Because everything that you're saying is not content. Content is like, oh, it's good enough.
Mm.
But everything that you're saying to me, counting your blessings, like that's being grateful.
I think contentment is the word I use because of the balance of life. Um, because to be honest, I've been through a lot, just throughout my life in general. But like, there's some pretty messed up shit that's happened in my life before, that's like gotten me to the point where I have to process that and accept that as a part of me,
Yeah.
and not like push that down or hide it in the shadows of my mind. That's a part of me. So that's kind of where the contentment comes from. That your usage,
Also being
yeah,
grateful.
but your usage on gratitude is actually a kind of a better way to phrase that, because I'm still grateful for those experiences for making them into who I am today.
Yeah.
Now, it could be a better version of me, it could be a worse version of me. It always could be better, it could always be worse, and so that's kinda how I always live too.
Yeah.
I'm also a nerd, sci-fi guy, so I'm all about the multiverse and simulation theory and all that, so I always believe.
We're gonna go down a rabbit hole. Is that how we're gonna go?
Well,
I'm wondering which way it's gonna be today.
I believe in the multiverse, and I believe that there's always a version. I was actually literally just talking to my son about this, earlier today, about quantum entanglement and quantum immortality, about how when you die, you don't necessarily die, you just kinda transfer to a new consciousness
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So, I'm a complete nerd when it comes to all that. I mean, we could have a whole different podcast about
We probably
space and time,
need to do that.
Unsteady building, Tyson Degrassi type beat, but
I love it. Okay, let's go back to your dad because the question that I had prior to you sharing that with us was take me back to the younger version of you when you were creating movies with your father. Two parts. Did you see yourself where you are now? And what was your big dream then?
so I always wanted to be an astronaut.
Okay.
And this is actually part of the reason why my company is called Starstruck
I
Multimedia,
get it.
and it had
See
the
it.
the logo's an astronaut.
Connected.
So, basically, as a child, my father, first of all, one thing he really told me, one of the first things he did, what I remember anyways, was that he bought me a computer, like a desktop computer, and he told me, "You need to learn this."
Mm.
Like, learn DOS, which is like the early '80s. So learn DOS, learn all the
We're
programs.
the same age.
Gave me a whole case of floppy disks and had me go through all of them and learn how to. He's like, you need to learn this because this is the future and this is going to be one of the most important things in your life. Now today I sit in front of a computer 8 to 10 hours a day doing editing and so on and so forth. Now he's very good at using computers. And so for him, it's all about technology. So he brought home a camcorder one day and was like, this is amazing. We're going to use this to shoot all kinds of videos. And I actually have the tapes because I guess got them from my mom not too long ago. And I was watching the tapes not too long ago with my wife and kind of explaining some things. But like my father always had the camera on because he wanted to capture these moments, probably for the sake of me being able to witness them right now as an adult.
Yeah.
Um, and so there was always something silly going on camera, and it didn't really click for me as a kid, but as an adult, I realized like how important it was for him to do that,
Yeah.
to just be able to document things. So for me, it's like, well, I'm more of a fiction type of person. I just believe that stories live beyond us. And so I want to put stories out there that inspire and create and do all these things. And I really just started with my father turning on that camera and just being like, hey, like, we're going to see what happens, right?
Smart.
One of the tapes that we watched was literally just the camera on in the living room for like 6 hours. You just see my mom walking by and me walking by. And it's like, why did my dad do this? But it was cool we didn't watch the whole 6 hours, but maybe I actually might because, it's memories. But it's just the fact that he was thinking that like, I need to record everything. I need to document everything because you never know. You never know. And now look where we're at in this world. We're like, we document everything. It's just everything. It's just all about it. So he was way ahead of the curve on that. And he really instilled that into me being like, make sure you tell your story. However you need to tell it, tell it. And for me, I didn't know what to do. But like I said, I was writing stories, I was drawing pictures, and I'm not very good at drawing. But when he passed, the music was what opened up for me. And I don't even know how I exactly got into music. I can't remember what the transition was, but I remember making my first couple of songs and how good that felt. Like where it was just like, oh man, like that's just relieving like a lot of like this darkness inside right now, being able to make that music.
Release.
And so that's just like the biggest impact that he had on me, was just to be able to be like, tell your story in a way that's true to you and make sure it's for you.
And I can tell you right now, in this short moment, because we had some interaction when we were filming the dating show at Star Camp, but in this short interaction, you're doing it. Like, I need you to know that you're doing it.
Thank you.
What is next? Like, what comes next?
So next officially would be, two things. So I'm finishing up my second feature film and called Impossible Colors.
Okay.
We're actually literally doing another or shooting the last final scene, hopefully next week, if everybody can get together. If you're watching this, show up on the 1st of June.
Show ass.
You know what you gotta do. We gotta shoot this damn movie. I've been working on it for so long. So that will hopefully be out by the end of the year. That's what I'm aiming for. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna put all my eggs in that basket because I know how this works. But end of the year, my movie will come out. It will also have a soundtrack.
Okay.
So last time I did the soundtrack for the Bond, I outsourced most of the music. I might actually do most of it in-house for this project.
Okay.
Then my next album is coming out. I haven't set a release date yet, but we're actually gonna get a single here probably next couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure that you tag us, connect
Absolutely.
us, let us know if you want, a pre-release review.
Sure.
We're
Yeah.
just sitting here with an amazing individual named Waves, and then we have a lot of other individuals. Juno, Ronnie, they also do live
I love Juno.
reviews.
Universe is awesome.
Come on.
Yeah, she's one of the best
Just
out there.
love.
She's-
Charisma Collective, Locals Only, Star Camp created. Hold on. Let me try to remember what it was.
You had it right.
Star
Camp Creative Labs.
Labs. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember.
Which I mean, with Star Camp, like probably what's gonna end up happening with that is that I'm probably gonna pivot it into a marketing and promotional company.
Okay.
That's probably what's ended up happening with that. Because before it was just the building, and then like a lot of things ended up happening with that, where like we did get some interesting offers and interesting situations from different people, where it's like we could turn this into something more than just a building.
Yeah.
But obviously we shut the building down, so now it's about kind of reconfiguring that.
Rebrand.
But in terms of that, it's just a matter of the people. Like I don't want to do anything without. Well, before I say that, I feel like like I said this earlier, I've been pushing for the people and for the community my entire career. So at this point now it's about pushing for myself, but a part of me that's still burning inside of me is doing stuff for the community because I love doing it. And so at some point in time, maybe next 6 months, maybe a year, we will probably be doing shows again, and it will probably be under the Star Camp brand. So
Okay.
look for that.
I love it.
But I'll probably do an album release party first. Haven't determined how I'm gonna do that yet. Yeah, I guess I could talk about that. I was gonna give you guys exclusive information on the album. So
I've been waiting.
the album is actually called Wishes Are Never Perfect.
Okay.
And it's actually, as you know, it's gonna be heavy story and heavy marketing. And it's about the story of a genie who's been freed from his lamp and the aftermath of that. And the reason why it's called Wishes Are Never Perfect kind of touches on like the whole theme of this conversation, where it's like finding that contentment and finding that sense of solace in your life,
Yeah.
because nothing's always what it seems. There's always something behind the veil, right? You might have the wish of having your own studio,
Yeah.
but so you got to worry about permits and taxes and licensing and people being all up in your space and all these things that you didn't quite think
Insurance.
about. Right.
Insurance.
Insurance.
A lot of
exactly.
people don't think about that,
Exactly.
but make
All these
sure that you
things.
got your ass insured.
For real. For real, for real. And all these things that you don't think about when you make that wish. And so in terms of my life, like some of the things that I've been through, we actually lost several children over the last couple of years, me and my wife trying to have a baby. One of the times was she was 6 months pregnant. And this is kind of like part of the album too, in the sense of like the political aspect of it. But she was 6 months pregnant and we went to the doctor. The child had PK syndrome, which is like a situation where the organs were essentially growing on the outside. And the doctor said that we had to terminate the pregnancy because the baby would not survive. And it was very harmful to the mother, my wife. And the doctor was essentially just like, hey, we're in Arizona. You can't terminate.
Age, yeah.
You can't terminate here. So what you need to do is you need to drop everything that you're doing, go to Vegas. Here's a card from my friend at this clinic.
Wow.
And go make that happen. And it's a very traumatic experience. And I'm once again blessed because I think about women who wouldn't be able to do that, just drop everything and just go to Vegas for 4 days to go do that. And plus the cost of it, astronomical. And that just rocked me to the core. I'm saying, just seeing how like my wife dealt with that, knowing that that's a thing that's happening in our country. And so part of the album touches on that, but it also kind of talks about the state of the country right now. The political atmosphere that we're dealing with like, Trump in office, things like that. We touch on that a little bit. But then a lot of the album also is kind of like just me rapping.
As it should be.
Just me being in my room, because the last several albums that I put out, I was trying to do something, if that makes any sense, whether it was like, oh, I'm gonna make this like album that's like a pop album that's really pristine and sounds really, really good. And on my last album, it was kind of like a Starstruck album where I put all my friends and homies on here and we're just gonna do all this cool rap shit. But when I first started making music, going back to my father and like processing like these demons in the darkness, it was just me in my room with this computer, the same computer that my father had given me, or an updated version of that, trying to make music, trying to figure out like what's going on in my head. And it's something I hadn't done in a very long time, like maybe like 5 or 6 years, where I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna sit here and just make music. And whatever fucking comes out, comes out. So that's kind of what this album is like some songs I'm just rapping. I'm just rapping wherever I feel like. I have a song called Run It Back where I'm just trying to sound as cool as possible on the song over a cool beat that I made. I did all the production on the album. Like that's part of it too, where like I'm not outsourcing beats. I usually do most of my production, but like this time I'm like, no, me.
Yeah.
Me with this microphone and this computer, I'm making this album, making these 13 songs, and that's it. Whatever happens after that happens after that.
I love that.
But I needed to do that for the solace and for the contentment to just get that out.
The release.
So, and then it goes back to the theme about wishes being not perfect and being like, well, I want to be able to feel like I'm doing something in this art shit, right? Like as an artist, like that's part of this, right? Like you want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want more numbers on your Spotify, you want more followers. That's kind of when we do that. But at the same time, and this is kind of what I'm seeing with a lot of artists, like, would you do this if no one was watching?
Right.
Like if the world collapsed and all you had was a room and a beat machine and a computer, would you make music?
Right.
Or is it boring to you because it's not cool and no one's watching you do it?
Right.
Right? You're not getting the numbers. You're not getting those dopamine hits.
That is a great question.
No, and for me, it's like, hell yes. Matter of fact, I would prefer to be anywhere else but in a room. Like, that'd be the only place I want to be if I had to choose, would be in a room making beats and making music.
So if the apocalypse.
Absolutely. If I had a beat machine, I'm good. I'm saying like maybe a little,
Shack.
maybe some weed too, and maybe a little grow operation too, so I could smoke. But if I had a beat machine and a computer, I'm good. I don't even need internet. I need samples, so maybe I do the internet. So maybe it's like some vinyl. I don't know, but I'll be good. Like literally, that's like so important to me to be able to do that. And I see other artists like kind of going back to the top of this. Would you ask me how I feel about Arizona?
I was gonna segue to that.
I don't see that. There's a lot of artists who are doing it for the clout. They're doing it for the numbers. They're doing it for the vibes, which is fine. But you won't be around 10 years from now.
Yeah.
I'm looking right in the camera at you. You won't be around 10 years from now.
Haven't you worked with that you want to work with? Because you kind of made mention of that in the beginning of the segment as well.
Musically, I think the only person that really want to work with is Iron.
Okay.
We never worked on each other. Worked with each other on a song or anything. I was his assistant director on the system.
Okay.
So I worked with him on film. And it's actually funny because Iron might actually see this, but I told him, I was like, I remember telling him, he might not even remember this conversation, but he was managing Sincerely, and he was talking about how Sincerely is kind of like the Kanye West of Arizona. And I was like, well, you know, I'm actually like the Donald Glover of Arizona. And he looked at me, he's kind of like, really? Yeah, I don't think he saw it in me. Because we were just starting to work together, and I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you. I think he sees it now. And you can tell me, Iron, because I know you rock with me. I'm that dude in the sense that like I move in a way that no one else does out here.
Yeah.
Period. And people might hear that and be like, well, I do this and I do that. Yeah, but you also don't do this. You also don't do that.
Right.
You also didn't do that. You also didn't do this. And there's like 3 people in this entire scene who could even fuck with me on that.
I love it.
And that's facts. And people get mad at me for the ego on that. I don't really care, especially as a damn near 41-year-old man. I don't give a shit, honestly.
Definitely the Kanye shrug, y'all. Definitely the Kanye shrug.
He's still in there. Trust me. He's still in there.
If we could call anybody up on the phone right now in the industry, who would it be?
Like right now?
Right now.
Cassie. Just joking. Just joking.
Right.
Just joking. She's a freak. I like that. I like that. I'm a very sexually free person. So when I was hearing about all the stuff on there that she was doing, I'm like, okay. Nothing disgusted me.
I was talking about as far as like working with musically, that thing probably went go viral, and I wasn't expecting those. So
Yeah, that's your viral moment for you right there.
my fan.
But musically, honestly, I would give Donald Glover a call and figure out what happened with your movie, bro. A lot of weird stuff happened with Donald. So last year he put out the Out of This album,
Yeah.
went on tour. He also dropped a trailer for his movie Bando and the New Stone.
Yeah.
Then he got sick, canceled the tour. Haven't heard from this man since. He disappeared. Don't know where's Donald Glover. Like, think about it. What's the last thing you heard about? He dropped the album last year and was on tour, and then he disappeared off the map. And that's like he basically replaced Kanye in my head as like my guy, my spirit animal.
Okay.
I love Donald Glover to death. So it's like something happened there. And I hope it's not anything too bad. I hope it's not like, sick family member or you being sick. But something happened there where he just fell off the face of the earth. And I was very excited about Donald Glover popping out again. And he disappeared. So I would probably call him first.
Okay.
Then I'm going to call Kanye and I'll yell at him.
What are you gonna say?
I think if I had an opportunity to talk to Kanye, I would tell him, I think I would say that you would, I don't know, I'm trying to be delicate about this.
Why?
Because I have connections to him in ways that I don't necessarily want to talk about on camera.
Okay.
And I don't want that to get back to those people and affect them.
Got it.
Because maybe I'll talk to you about it off camera. But
Yes.
what I want to say is that you are hurting people. I don't care about the antics. I really and truly don't. Like, you can be a Nazi, you can be whatever you want to do. But the thing about it is that it comes down to like the multiverse, quantum shit. When you're putting stuff out there, it sends ripples.
The level of
And those ripples cause damage in ways that you probably haven't even realized. Even if it's like being simple, like a prime example could be like a kid who's a Kanye West fan and loved everything that you did, and then you put out that stupid ass Heil Hitler song or whatever, and now that kid's being teased and bullied at school. That's just like a lightweight example that came off the top of my head. But that happens on a grander scale because of his power and influence. Like, that's what I realized, like on a microcosm, is that like I have a lot of influence out here. I can make a post right now on Facebook and light this entire scene on fire. I've done it multiple times before, and people get pissed at me. Like, I made a list the other day. I made a Mount Rushmore post, and I put Iron on there. I put Willie North Pole on there. I put a couple other people. Fucking 200 comments. You forgot about this. You forgot about that. First of all, my opinion ain't shit. You all pretend that it is, but you guys don't support me in a way that makes me feel like it actually matters. So it doesn't matter. So what I'm trying to say is, going back to the Kanye thing, is that when you have that level of influence, you never know who's listening to you.
Yeah.
You never know how that's going to affect somebody. You never know like how that you might devastate someone by saying something, or how you might empower a whole brand new black Nazi team or something like that. Like, Kanye's influence is so powerful that it's like, dude, when you have that much influence, you have to be careful how you use it. You really and truly do. Some people don't give a fuck. Like Elon Musk, he doesn't give a fuck because he's rich as hell.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think a part of Kanye does give a fuck. But he's running out of options. Because the thing about Kanye West, which is what I learned from, because I graduated from the school of Kanye West, is that every rollout has to be hard. There has to be something dope about the rollout that brings you in. So if you look at Kanye West's history, his rollouts are incredible.
Yeah.
Jesus, he was putting projections on the side of buildings. He was doing all kinds of shit with Pablo, doing the Madison Square Garden. And every time he was escalating. But then he hit a turning point where he realized, okay, so now how do I escalate it now?
Yeah.
Red hat.
Right.
I'm a Nazi.
Yeah. Right.
And it's going to end dark. If you look at the trend, it's going to end dark. And I really hope he doesn't harm himself or anything like that. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right. Well, close us out.
Right. I got super dark real quick.
It's okay. We're here. We're going to reel it in. Close us out with number one, shameless plug. How do people get a hold of you? Number two, because you are a marketing buff, just a little nugget that people can take with them, like, as far as marketing goes.
Okay. So you can find me, if you Google my name, Jaron Ikner, you'll find everything. My film, The Bond, you'll find my New Times articles, you'll find my website, which is jaronikner.life. Don't go there because I don't update it enough. Just Google my name. That's a lot better route. Jaronikner. My fleet probably has it at the bottom of the screen right here. Pow. Marketing tip. Every time I get a client, there's two questions that I ask them The first question is, where do you see your company in X amount of time? Typically, it's like 5 years. Where do you see your company? Like, do you see yourself selling it? Do you see yourself being the top of the industry of it? Do you see it as a side gig, just bringing in some income? Very important question that you need to ask yourself as an artist what you want 5 years from now. Do you want just to be on tour? Do you want to have 50,000 Spotify listeners a month? Do you want to have a podcast that you're doing? I'm saying, like, you really have to ask yourself that question, because that dictates the next question, which is, how do you want to get there? Right? Which comes down to, what story do you want to tell?
Yeah.
Because I'm a storyteller. So I'm going to be like, okay, so you want to be the #1 podcast channel in the world 5 years, or not, maybe we'll give you 6 months.
5 minutes from now.
6 months from now, SongLab will be the #1 podcast. And the reason why they did that is because they realized that, hey, this is where I want to be. This is the goal point. So for me to get there, I need to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, but there's a story to attach that together with. And if you can get that story attached to it, and not only that, but get people interested in your story, which is why I tell everybody, this is actually the real tip here, learn story theory. The most important class that I took in my film school was not film production. It wasn't screenwriting. It was story theory. Learning how stories work and why we tell stories and why stories are so powerful. Once you figure that out, it's game over.
I love it.
Because once you learn how to tell a good story, you got them hooked. Like, look at Sinners right now. Like, Sinners is about to break all kinds of records because it's a good story. There's all kinds of other factors, Black people, all kinds of stuff, but it's a good story. And that's what matters. Like, you lead the movie and you're like, if that was good, tell your friend, Sinners is good. You go watch it, makes more money. It's a very simple formula. And it might be hard to achieve sometimes because a lot of people don't actually know what their story is.
Right.
And I take some soul searching, like literally like maybe some ayahuasca or some mushrooms or some therapy, or even like having a good relationship with a good partner, and then pillow talk.
Talk about
Because some stuff be coming out in the pillow talk after you do your thing. Some of that, you're releasing dopamine in your brain. So have those conversations with your girlfriend after you guys smash or whatever. But the point is that look for those opportunities to open up your soul and open up your chakras, which gives you opportunity to really discover like what really you value, what means the most to you.
Yeah. And then being able to
Exude that outward. Exactly. Because people get all messed up. People don't know, like there's so many external sources that influence us, like, new Drake song or whatever, or like news report, et cetera, so forth. And that's like part of it with this album, is that I told myself during the writing process of the album, I'm not listening to anything else. I'm not watching any of their TV. I'm not doing anything. Don't send me your song. I'm not listening to it right now. I'm in album mode, because I realized how easy it is to be influenced. Like,
Yeah.
you hear a Drake beat, you're like, that beat's tight. Next thing you know, you're like kind of rapping like Drake on a song like this, and it's like, oh shit, hold up, go back a little bit. I want to be me. So let me
Sitting down.
take out all the outside interference. Let me focus on what my heart's telling me, what my chakras are telling me, what type of music I really want to tell, and let's make it.
I love it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's always good to talk. This is my first interview in like a year, I think. So you all got some exclusive bits on here. So
Love it. Yay! Good job.
thanks for having me.
Nique The N Voice checking in live and direct from SongLab Live. If you are an artist and you would like to share your story, hit us up in the DM. We have everything that you need here, full production. And you know what we do? We are helping artists fill the gaps with collaboration and education.